In the year 2038, a city is bleeding out. When unemployment hits 37.3%, a society doesn't just adapt, it fractures. And when millions of people lose their purpose, they look for an escape. Most players run through the chaotic chapters of Detroit Become Human, focused entirely on survival, dodging bullets, hitting quick-time events, keeping their characters alive. But if you stop running, if you stand still and look at the unpaid bills, the police records, and the chemical breakdowns hidden in the background, you uncover the most terrifying narrative Quantic Dream ever coded. This isn't just a story about machines waking up. This is the anatomy of an epidemic. To understand the disease, we first have to look at the symptom. When Kara cleans Todd Williams' house, the game forces you to interact with his reality. Todd was a taxi driver, but autonomous vehicles didn't just take his job. They erased his entire industry overnight. He was deemed economically obsolete, but Todd's darkest dependency is what sits on his living room table: Red Ice. The game casually introduces this as the drug tearing through Detroit's lower class. But if you scan the drug's chemical makeup, the UI reveals a horrifying paradox. Its primary active ingredient is Thirium 310, or blue blood. Todd vehemently hates androids for ruining his life. Yet to cope with that ruin, he is literally smoking the lifeblood of the machines he despises. The cartels didn't import chemicals. They siphoned the blood out of the millions of androids wandering the city. Detroit was smoking its own replacement. But while men like Todd Williams were rotting away in their living rooms, the city was desperately trying to fight back. Enter Lieutenant Hank Anderson. Players view Hank as a relic, a washed-up, suicidal cop who drinks to forget. But look at the timeline on his desk. In the late 2020s, exactly as the unemployment crisis peaked and the Red Ice cartels took over, Hank was the vanguard. By 2027, his success in crippling the city's drug rings earned him the rank of lieutenant, the youngest in DPD history. He wasn't a broken man. He was an apex predator, fighting a shadow war to save his city from the epidemic. But you cannot shoot a chemical. And the tragic irony of Hank Anderson is how that war finally ended. Which brings us to 2029, the year the Vanguard finally broke. Every player knows Hank's son, Cole, died after a car crash because an android performed the emergency surgery. That is the surface level story. But if you unlock the hidden dialogue in the final chapters of the game, the true, devastating irony is revealed.
Cole. His name was Cole. And he just turned 6 at the time of the accident. It wasn't your fault, Lieutenant. A truck skidded on a sheet of ice and your car rolled over. Cole needed emergency surgery, but no human was available to do it. So an android had to take care of him. Cole didn't make it. That's why you hate androids. You think one of us is responsible for your son's death.
Cole died because a human surgeon was too high on red ice to operate. He was the one that took my son from me. Him in this world where the only way people can find comfort is with a fistful of powder.
The human doctor wasn't just busy. He was high on red ice, the exact drug Hank spent his entire life trying to eradicate had infiltrated the hospital. Hank Anderson doesn't hate androids just because one failed to save his son. He hates them because the blue blood in their veins is the very substance that fueled the drug, that shattered men like Todd and killed his boy. The tragedy of Detroit isn't about synthetic machines. It's about a society that built the exact tools of its own destruction. So the next time you boot up the game, look closely at the shadows. If you are still watching right now, thank you. Truly. Crafting these deep dives takes a massive amount of time and research. The fact that you stayed with me until the very end means the world to me. If this video changed the way you view Detroit Become Human, please hit that subscribe button. Here at the Virtual Chronicle, we don't just play narrative games, we dissect them. Drop a like. Let me know whose psychology we should break down next in the comments. And again, thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next Chronicle.